Vladimir Putin, born on October 7, 1952 in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia, grew up in a turbulent time. His father, Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin, was a factory worker, and his mother, Maria Ivanovna, was a homemaker. Putin's early years were marked by hardship, as the family lived in a cramped communal apartment, a common situation in post-World War II Soviet Union. His father had been injured during the war and spent much of the time in recovery, while Putin's mother was responsible for raising him and his two siblings. As a child, Putin was known for being energetic and resourceful. He took an early interest in martial arts and judo, which would remain lifelong passions. Despite the tough living conditions, Putin was able to excel academically, particularly in his studies of history and languages. He graduated from Leningrad State University in 1975 with a law degree. During his time at university, Putin became involved with the KGB, the Soviet Union's security agency, which would shape much of his future career. After completing his studies, Putin joined the KGB, where he served in various positions. His early work took him to East Germany in the 1980s, where he was stationed as a KGB officer. It was in Germany that Putin honed his skills in espionage and developed an affinity for the West, though he was deeply loyal to the Soviet system. He returned to Leningrad in 1990 after the fall of the Berlin Wall, where he began working in local politics and advising the city's mayor, Anatoly Sobchak. This period marked the beginning of Putin's political ascent. In 1996, after Sobchak lost re-election, Putin moved to Moscow and became involved in the inner workings of the Russian government. He worked under President Boris Yeltsin in various capacities, including in the Federal Security Service, FSB, which had replaced the KGB. By 1999, Yeltsin appointed Putin as Prime Minister, and just a few months later, Yeltsin unexpectedly resigned, naming Putin as his successor. Putin became acting president on December 31, 1999, and won his first full presidential election in 2000. As president, Putin was seen as a stabilizing force for Russia, which was recovering from the chaos of the 1990s. He focused on restoring Russia's economy, reducing corruption, and increasing Russia's influence on the global stage. His popularity soared as he brought stability to the country. But critics argue that he also curtailed freedoms, weakened democratic institutions, and silenced opposition. Putin was re-elected in 2004, and after a constitutional limit prevented him from running again in 2008, he became prime minister under President Dmitry Medvedev. However, many saw Putin as the true power in Russia during this time. In 2012, he returned to the presidency after controversial elections. Since then, his rule has been marked by growing authoritarianism, suppression of political dissent, and the annexation of Crimea in 2014, which led to international sanctions. Putin has also been a key player in global geopolitics, frequently clashing with the West over issues such as Syria, Ukraine, and cyber warfare. He has maintained a firm grip on power, and in recent years he has altered Russia's constitution to allow him to remain in power until 2036, effectively ensuring his dominance for decades to come. Today, Putin remains a central figure in Russian politics, and his influence extends far beyond Russia's borders. However, his rule has also been controversial, with many questioning his handling of domestic issues, human rights, and his role in global conflicts.